right, here we go now, baby. Joe and Jingles coming at you with our 8 total best bets for Sunday's NFL action. Before we get into those, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button right down there. We got annual reviews coming up, so we want something to brag about. So help us out a little bit. All right, then let us get right into the action. We're going to start things off in Detroit. Lions playing host to the Vikings. I'm going to place a bet that I placed many times this season. It is for the Lions to go over their team total. For this game, it's at 29.5 points. Oh, the great Brian Flores, the most overrated defensive coordinator in the NFL. Whenever he plays a good offense, he gets lit up. And he's been lit up multiple times against the Lions. He's been DC for, 2 years and change now for the Vikings. The Lions have scored 30 points, 30 points, 31 points, and 31 points against him. They average 388.75 yards per game in these games. To put that number in context, the Colts lead the NFL in yards per game this season at 385.3. So the Lions at home, they are a different animal on their home field here, guys. They've scored 30 or more points in 9 of their last 11 games at home. They're off their bye. Their last 2 games after their bye, 47 points and 41 points. This Minnesota defense really struggling, guys. They're coming off a game where they allowed 37 points versus the Chargers. They allowed 28 the week before that against the Eagles. They're getting absolutely killed through the air as well. Lions 5th in yards per pass attempt, tied for 1st in yards per play at home this season. And time of possession could heavily favor the Lions in this one, with J.J. McCarthy set to start here most likely for the Vikings, playing behind an offensive line that's allowed the 3rd most sacks in the NFL, giving the Lions to go over that team total. Okay, Jingles, you have a team total you like as well. What do you got?
Yeah, it's week 9, and I'm finally getting on that Colts offense. Never too late, though. Over 26.5, minus 125. There's some 27s in there, but I'm going to pay the juice on this key number under. And this is the number 1 offense in EPA per play, tops in points per game at 33.8. Facing a Pittsburgh defense that ranks 31st in EPA per play. There's 6.5 yards per play this year, paces the league substantially. The next best team is 6.1. And since 2020, there's been only one team that has finished with a higher yards per play. That was last year with the Ravens. 7-1 to the over in this number. It's such a developed, deep offense now that's fully healthy. Obviously, there's Taylor, you got Jones, you got Pittman, and you got those role-playing receivers in Pierce, Downs, Mitchell, and Doolin. There's a lot to cover on this offense, but at the end of the day, you just need to execute, and that's exactly what this offense is doing. Top 5 in 3rd down percentage completion. And over the last 3 games, 84% of their trips in the red zone have resulted in a score. You got to finish those drives to hit these numbers, and that's why they've done. Over at the Pittsburgh side, they lost a starting safety last week. They just traded for one. He's banged up, so they could be down to strong safety number 3 in this game. Taylor just got named the AFC Player of the Month. Little 500 yards and 10 total touchdowns. Currently sitting 5th in MVP voting or betting favorite, plus 1,400. I think another big game, another multi-TD game from the running back is really going to push that MVP conversation heading into week 10.
Let's go. I have him on my fantasy team too. I'm sure people love hearing about that. Everyone loves hearing about people's fantasy teams. Okay, for the 3rd week in a row, I'm going to take an over in Cincinnati, this time with the Bears in town. The number sitting at 51.5. So high scoring games in Cincinnati has become a serious pattern, especially this season. So check this out. Points scored in Bengals home games this season. 58 points versus Jacksonville, 61 versus Detroit, 64 versus Pittsburgh, and 77 versus the Jets just last week. So going back to 2023, the over is 12-3 in Cincinnati. And we got 2 dinky defenses getting after it here on Sunday in Cincinnati, tied for last in yards per play allowed. Both awful in the red zone. Expect them to be converting on touchdowns, not kicking field goals. Both struggle to pressure the opposing QB. On the offensive side of the ball, the Bengals are passing at the highest percentage in the NFL. Going to keep that ball moving. Bears have reached at least 25 points in 5 of their last 6 games. And this will be the worst defense that they faced up until this point of the season. And yes, I'm still happy to take this if Jake Browning is starting, not Joe Flacco. Flacco with a bit of a shoulder issue, so we don't know exactly who the starter is going to be at QB. But Browning's put up good numbers at home this season and in 2023 when filling in for Joe Burrow. A lot of Joes there in Cincinnati. So give me the over between the Bears and the Bengals, 51.5. Okay, touchdown time. Travis Hunter. Why?
Price, and we live in that world where people kind of forget what happens when teams play 1 week and then go on the bye. But Travis Hunter is wide receiver one, and I'm getting him in a great matchup indoors versus the Raiders at plus 230. This is like a number that I'd play down to plus 150 right now. Many forgotten what he did before the bye versus the Rams. 8 catches, 14 targets, and 100 yards and a touchdown with 2 red zone targets. Like I said, indoor matchup with the Raiders, I'd have this price closer to plus 150. There's also talk about the Brian Thomas just getting shipped out of there with trade talks. But guess what? He's also limited practice this week with a shoulder in a harness. So there's some concern there. There's a reason why Travis Hunter doesn't have any reception markets, some receiving yard marks middle of the week, is because there's some uncertainty. But the price hasn't really changed too much for his TD. This is an indoor spot versus the Raiders, one of the weakest teams in the league. Could be out Max Crosby. And this could be the last week the bettors get Hunter at 200 or better. Like I said, probably playing this to plus 170 with a fair price around plus 150.
What a game in Las Vegas, baby. Can't wait to watch that one. All right, next up for me, we're off to Houston, the Denver Broncos in town. 2 great defenses. I'm going to take the under in this one. It's a low total, but I don't think low enough, 39.5. So great looking defensive matchup between 2 teams who are both allowing fewer than 19 points per game. The Texans, by the way, allowing just 11.7 points per game at home this season. Both top 5 in yards per play allowed. They're first and third in third down defense. Denver's first in red zone defense. Expect a lot of kicking in this game. Now, Denver's offensive numbers are fine. They're okay, right around league average, I guess, 14th in yards per play. But they haven't really been challenged much. Check out some of these opposing defenses: Cowboys, Giants, Jets, Bengals, Titans. They really should be a lot higher. So I think Bo Nix is really going to be challenged in this one. And on the other side, CJ Stroud and this offensive line, they're really going to be challenged. Denver leads the NFL in sacks and pressure percentage. Houston's offensive numbers, not pretty here, guys. 25th on third down, 31st in the red zone. They played 2 really good defenses twice this season. Their offense scored 13 points against Seattle and just 9 against the Rams. So let's go under in Houston with the Broncos in 10. Okay, we got to have something for Chiefs Bills. You got 2 props, and the first one, Rashee Rice. What do you like for him?
I like a growing role. I like a guy who's playing 60 snaps. Now, last week, head coach Andy Reid discussed a gradual ramp up of his role coming back from injury. He noted the plan was to limit Rice to about 40% in his first game back, and that it takes a while. And Matt Nagy was saying, it takes a lot to come right back and play right away and play 60 snaps. Well, guess what? Rashee Rice played 59 snaps last week. He's back to pretty much 100%. 9 targets, caught all 9 targets for 90 yards. Andy Reid on Rashee Rice this week, he said, I thought he did good. Well, thanks a lot. No guff right there. I love the way he goes about it. He's so physical out there. He's like having another running back as a wide receiver. So obviously, Andy likes him on the field. This number closed at 66.5 last week, and I'm taking the over 69.5 at minus 110. Closed at 66.5 last week, and that was versus Marcus Mariota. Casey has won 59-7 over the last 2 weeks. And Rashee Rice has still put up 16 catches on 19 targets. If we get a neutral game script here, this could be a big week. Why? It's also the number 1 passing team and passing rate over expected. And Isaiah Pacheco is injured. So all signs point to more Rashee Rice. I like this number. Projection, right around 80 yards from the blitz.
Okay, last up for me, it is my don't overthink it bet of the week. And the bet I'm speaking of is Chargers minus 9.5. We're fading the Titans in this one. So Tennessee Titans, if you didn't hear, they are 4-21 against the spread since the start of last season. This includes going 0-11 against the spread at home. So Tennessee's lost 6 of 7 games, 6 of their last 7 games by double digits. 5 of those come by at least 14 points. The one game where they didn't, it was a fluke win against the Cardinals where a million weird things happened and kicked a bunch of us out of our survivor leagues. Now, I'm not going to waste a bunch of time reading off a bunch of stats to you guys. Titans are at or among near the bottom of the league in many, many important categories. Cam Ward has no shot back there. They've allowed the most sacks in the NFL. As for the Chargers, the game situation, they come in on extra rest, coming off probably their biggest ass kicking of the season on Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. And this is not a team that is in any position whatsoever to play down to the competition and take their foot off the gas. Things extremely tight in their division in the AFC West. They have been a bit up and down this season, but we have seen some great ability. It's time for them to get some momentum going. The don't overthink it bet of the week. I think they're going to beat the living shit out of the Tennessee Titans. Okay, Jingles, bring it home for us. Keon Coleman. What are we thinking?
Over 38.5 receiving yards, -110. This is bargain bin shopping at its best. Offensive coordinator Joe Brady addressed Keon Coleman this week in his growing role on Monday's presser, saying he praised the improved focus in the run game during practice, which has kept the receiver on the field. And this from Brady's mouth, this is the big nugget. I want to get him the ball more. Okay, that's it. Like something like that is just a perfect example of like, let's find out where his number was. Wasn't very much. It wasn't bigger than this last week. So this idea that Joe Brady wants to get him the ball a bit more, I don't think is priced in. And he went over this number last week, but still, this was a game that Buffalo absolutely played with positive game script all game. This is a game where we're going to see competitive. We're going to see both these offenses go up and down the field. I mean, it's Mahomes and Allen. So let me go on the over here on his receiving yards. Dalton Kincaid might be dealing with something, and he could be the number one guy, but he's being hampered by an injury. So Keon Coleman on a low number in a game that somehow was in the 425 slot, which didn't get flexed somewhere more exciting, but this is one of the more exciting 425 games, and I think this is the bottom of the barrel for Keon Coleman.
Okay, there you have it. Our best bets for Sunday afternoon's NFL action. If you're looking for some best bets for the Sunday night game, we're going to have a standalone video for that right here on the Covers YouTube channel. Enjoy all the games on Sunday. Best of luck with your bets, and we'll see you right back here on the Covers YouTube channel.